Carlton. Josh Fraser today signs on, and I think we were expecting that perhaps next week.
Yeah, I thought 1 or 2, Jacqui, whether they'll just wait till the season's over and see if he could win a final. But I think that across the 13 weeks, he's done as well as anyone bar probably Justin Longmuir. They're probably level on wins and 10 wins, 2 losses and a draw across that 13-week period. And how else was anyone going to beat that? So they're all untried coaches. They're not coaches who had won premierships or done anything else. So well done to him. It doesn't happen that often where a coach gets moved on for a reason in, say, a Brad Scott or a Michael Voss, and you're walking into such a difficult situation, yet he's come on board, and I can't believe how well they have played their football. So fully deserved.
And I think Carlton fans are very happy, particularly after yesterday. That was one of the most amazing games of the year, I thought, from my point of view, just sitting at home watching it. And Ed Richards, the game that he had, it was great. It was great footy. It
was good, and they've been up for a long time, Carlton. So a lot of people have said, how will they handle the expectation of now to win, they're into the finals, and will they be able to handle that? And they didn't play their best. Even I lip read after the game, Josh Fraser, I won't say the exact
word I saw it. Yeah,
he
no,
said
we can't.
Pretty much how disappointing were we? So they didn't play that well, but then they got in a position where they were level and there was a minute and a half to go.
So exciting.
And they all realised that a draw is just as good as a win, and a draw gets us into the finals. So they handled it really well. Cripps, Walsh, all the stars, Harry Dean, Mackay, all playing great football heading into a final series.
Okay, 133693, drive at 3w.com.au. If you've got a question for Lloydie, and just on Essendon, the smallest crowd, some of the numbers that they were throwing around there, so disappointing, and still no decision about who's going to be leading them next year.
No, and there was a suggestion that Carlton may have called Essendon and said, when are you going to announce it? Because we don't want to do it at the same time. And Essendon said, no, we're not going to announce it just yet. So Carlton, we're going to do it, I think, in the next 24 hours. Before the media have got to it first. They might go tomorrow, Carlton. Still waiting. There was also reports that Andrew Welsh may be away and is back tomorrow, so that something might happen maybe earlier next week. Now, maybe they're going to wait till the end of the season now.
But what do you say to Essendon fans as a club great when none of them want to show up anymore?
Well, I think they've been so good for so long. Like someone made a suggestion to me today, which was a good point, that Essendon haven't won a final now for 22 years.
It's unbelievable.
So the crowds have just kept attending for so long, and there comes a point where it's probably at that breaking point right now where the fans have had enough, but it's been 22 years in the making. So that's where it's just a critical time with the appointment and what happens over the next 2 to 3 years.
So you use the phrase breaking point. Is that where the club's at now when it comes to their supporters and the want of them to watch their team play?
And so the monetary side of it, the supporters of voting with their feet, 23,000 people at the MCG. Other games I've been to before that, like you're hearing everything because you're hearing the players on the field because there's
it's like COVID.
Yeah, so few people there. So that's why I do say it's the lowest. It's the lowest wins in a season. They've been wooden spooners in 1933, 2016 when they had no players, and now, and they've won less games this year than when they had lost all their players. So it is the lowest time in the club's history.
How sad do you feel about that?
Oh, it's extremely disappointing because it's been too long. It's been too long where the club has been down. The system says you should be challenging for a flag or should be looking to win one every 18 years with 18 teams in it, but haven't even won a final for 2022.
I can see why then there is that push for James Hird because he is a big name that will bring back money to the club and perhaps, whether it's right or wrong, interest.
That's right, and I'm sure that has gone through the selection panel's minds and it's been discussed. So I'd like anyone, just can't wait to hear whether it's James or it's one of the other.
You might hear
candidates
before the rest of us, one might think. Hey, Tom, you're talking to Lloydie.
Oh, g'day, Lloydie. G'day, Jacqui. Thanks for a great show. Lloydie, I'm a bit intrigued with Collingwood. I mean, I think they're incredibly well coached, but these youngsters they've brought in, I mean, Hawthorn just about had a full squad. And, they look like Collingwood the chance.
Oh, I think you dropped out there. But what he's saying is, what's the assessment of the youngsters?
Oh, they were really good on the weekend. They had about 10 players under 32 games, Collingwood, in their draw against Hawthorn. So they played really well. They do need the experience back in. They've got Jeremy Howe, Steele Sidebottom, Lipinski, Maynard, and one other that just slips my mind right now. But they've got some really good players to come back into that team. So, yeah, they'll win a final. Yeah, Perryman's the other one. So they'll win a final, but I don't think they can get much higher than that just because of where their squad sits compared to Fremantle and Brisbane Lions.
There are a lot of Essendon supporters on the texts as well, Lloydie. Hi, Lloydie and Jacqui. We're not turning up to games that are scheduled at 4:40 on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Also fair.
And that's what you get when you've been so poor for so long. You get the worst time slots.
You do. Also, Mark says, stop referring to this ridiculously stupid wildcard round as finals. It's a home and away game to get into the finals. What is your view on wildcard? Because I've kind of come around. Now we're at the pointy end of the season. I'm like, this is kind of exciting. I love the fact that Carlton are in it now.
I had mates text me last night saying what a joke it is that people are celebrating a side finishing 10th.
I like it.
And I'm the same. I think it's kept the season so much more interesting than what it has been. But others would say if it was a top 8, the last round would be more exciting if it was a top 8.
No, but Carlton would have made it then. And then you wouldn't have ended up with a potential I think it's Carlton Adelaide, isn't it? But could have been Carlton Collingwood.
Yeah, and it's kept St Kilda, Giants, North, all those sides irrelevant, but people will say, but what are we? We're awarding 9th and 10th. But,
mediocrity.
Yeah, but I've enjoyed it as well.
A question for Lloydie. Unless Adam Muse gets new assistant coaches or some radical changes happen at Richmond, what's the use of persisting with him?
They've been poor, no doubt about that.
Had injuries though, haven't they?
Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries. They're second last on the ladder with 3 wins, 19 losses. So, he needs to have a much better year next year. So I think that'll be the decision on Adam Muse will come with how they play the first half of next year.
And Mike, hello.
Hi, Lloydie. I often question the wisdom of the Magpie hierarchy delisting Mason Cox, given now that he's obviously fitted in very well at Fremantle and likely to play in another premiership team when he's already done that at Collingwood. Yeah.
Mike, just on that, you've got a guy by the name of Oscar Steen, and he did his ACL, so he was looking fantastic. So he was the replacement for Mason Cox. So I think that was fair enough, in my opinion, that they let Mason Cox go.
We're getting a lot of texts about this wild card too. Doesn't the wild card penalise teams 7th and 8th by having to play an extra finals game? From now on, you need to make top 6 to have a realistic chance. Hi, Jacqui and Lloydie. Wait for the drums to start banging if 9th or 10th place teams beat 7 or 8 and progress further.
I think if you lose to 9 and 10, you're not good enough. It is about money. There's no doubt about that. That's an extra 2 games, which brings more money. The broadcasters are demanding more. That's why State of Origin's coming back as well. So it is about money first and foremost, but I think I've enjoyed the excitement of it as well. Just
thinking about having Carlton, Western Bulldogs, and who are the others that are in that bottom bit, but if they weren't there, it's great to have them still in.
Yeah, so in the fight has been Collingwood, Western Bulldogs, Carlton, and now St Kilda, Giants and North have missed out. Yeah, so I think Carlton has been the story of the season.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been had there not been the wild card. But that's where you just got to get to top 6. And there's no doubt that's where the Premier will come from because no team will win 5 weeks in a row.
You say this now.
They won't. Well, we don't think so. Well, even the Doggies. I think there's only been a couple of teams win outside the top 4.
The Dogs are really the only one in recent memory. Is that right?
I don't know if Brisbane potentially won a flag from outside the top 4 in recent years.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
We've got Peter on the line about the Bombers. Hi, Peter.
G'day, Jacqui. G'day, Lloydie. My question's just back to the James Hird one. Lloydie, how do you feel? I know you mentioned you bring in a profile and the supporters would love it, but do you think there'd be a lot of supporters the other way that would be worried about bringing him back in and it might go the other way for the club?
Yeah, Peter, no doubt there would be, but I think there's more the other way with James, like in terms of giving him another opportunity and would support him if he was given that chance. I won't put a percentage on it, but I'm far more than 50%, I'd say, would be
a pro
Herd more than a negative Herd. And he's a smart man. He'd bring in people with him who could support him with the strategic side.
The thing about it, Peter, I think, and you are an Essendon supporter, I imagine, Peter, but like if they don't rip this Band-Aid off with James Hird, it will just keep coming back, don't you think, Peter?
Well, I'm actually not I'm a Carlton supporter, but I'm just intrigued by this situation a little bit because so much took place and it was such a bad moment for the club, and I suppose someone's so heavily involved and it comes back. But I'm also interested, I know you mentioned bringing in good strategic people, but is it a long time out of the game not being in the coach's box as well, or you don't think that's an issue?
No, just because some of the head coaches aren't the most strategic in their group. So they're people that you have with you that there's some really strong strategic people who can't be frontmen, but they're very good at the strategic side of it. So that's the best. Kevin Sheedy was brilliant at it. He'd always bring people in when I was there who would help his weaknesses in a sense. So, but Peter's right. There are people within the footy club who would think that about James Hird as well. So that's all part of the decision making with James.
It's amazing, isn't it? I can't wait to see how this plays out. Nick, hello.
Yeah, hi Matthew. How are you, Jacqui? My question is, who do you think's closer to making it final, North Melbourne or St Kilda? Oh, Matthew, what do you think?
I think I like North Melbourne's list better. They both though they need to make it next year, both of them. So they both should be. When we're talking finals, is now top 10.
I wonder how North managed to that second quarter against the Cats.
The first quarter they belted the
Cats.
But
then they fell apart. Yeah, they fell apart in the second. What happened there?
I think Geelong. That's good. They're a good side, Geelong, and they turned the heat up and turned the screws, and they didn't handle the pressure too well.
But North have played really exciting footy at moments all year, don't you think?
They have, and they've had the odd good win. But both St Kilda and North, I think it was Nick, they both can't beat good sides. They can't beat good sides above them, which is their challenge for next year.
Nick, thank you. Now let's look at how this weekend's going to play out as well. So the Fremantle game, Carlton Freo. Like I wanted to get your thoughts on that before we let you go as well, because I think it's going to be one of those matches. It doesn't matter if you don't support them; you're just going to have to watch it.
And the tricky part is Carlton and Collingwood and these teams, doggies, because they have to play 5 weeks in a row. They might rest a lot of players. Because Fremantle don't want to rest because they're going to have another rest because the top 6 don't have to
play. Their week off.
Yeah, they get their week off, whereas the bottom teams don't get a week off. So Carlton, why wouldn't you rest Cripps or some of these players this week?
They're not allowed to. The AFL said no.
But you can manage if you're out. But, Fremantle, if they take it seriously, win that game of footy, you would think.